So at the end of September, when I came back from Shanghai, my girlfriend broke up with me. I was completely taken aback just by how deeply in love I fell with this person. There was a week when she went to Switzerland, and we were just together for a few weeks then. And when she came back, I told her, "Look, I missed you like a lot more than I thought I did. This is completely new for me. Like I never felt this way really about someone before." So that would have been the clue to how I'd experience the breakup. I experienced the breakup a lot uh, more difficult than I thought I would. There were mornings where we go into the shower and just like have emotions well up and end up in tears. So that's the first thing, the expectation I had around like what I would experience, how deeply I would experience the breakup. The second thing to me was completely unexpected. Um, and that comes down to the cognitive dissonance I experienced about her after the breakup. So cognitive dissonance, for those that don't know, is the your brain or your mind, whatever you want to call it, tries to make the reality you chose better off than the reality you didn't choose or like could not choose. So a classic example of this: there are two products that are exactly the same. You can't decide, but once you buy one over the other for some mundane reason, you're going through this cognitive dissonance process where you say like, damn, that was a good idea. Like that was, you made a good idea by buying that specific product and not the other one because that thing actually sucks and this thing's actually a lot better. Good on you, Simon. You made the right choice. So obviously in a breakup, that thing turns into overdrive because the reality that you wanted and had is not the reality anymore. So your brain or your mind that wants to protect you from experiencing sadness and unhappiness just wants to make everything okay again. And then it goes really into overdrive where it just starts doing things like, you know, when you're in love, you look at this person, there are like these small things that you don't necessarily like about them, but you know, it's fine. You look past them because that's not a that big deal. The 90% of the other things are awesome about this person, but those 10% things are, it's not a deal breaker, but it's kind of annoying, but you know, you live with it. Now, what happens after the breakup is your brain goes, "Wow, those 10% of things that you didn't like about her, like, wow, like, those were actually serious deal breakers, but you didn't see it. You were just foolishly in love." You know, that's the kind of mental processes that goes on in your head. And that started frustrating me because I started realizing that I was painting her to be a worse person than she is for to allow myself to feel better about what happened. And after the breakup, I wrote several letters to her. Um, not, I didn't actually send it to her, just um, in a diary that I had with certain dates. And it's more like it's addressed to her, but I didn't send it to her. Just more for me to put my thoughts to paper and just work through these emotions. So a few days after the breakup, this is a part of what I wrote, and explains that frustration I had around this cognitive dissonance. I told her, this is a few days afterwards. I'm an I am an optimistic nihilist. Life has no inherent meaning or purpose, but I actively choose to be optimistic and happy. Death will come for all of us, and thus any anger, frustration will lead us to resent the only thing we really do have, and that's the moment. I don't want to be angry, and I don't want to be frustrated. And I've harbored thoughts about you not being happy, and I am ashamed of that. I'm ashamed of that, especially someone I still care for. You left me because we loved at different paces, not because of other, more serious reasons. I still care and think about you, and probably will for some time. I want to move on from anger and frustration. I, I only wish to feel happiness and peace for you, to wake up and be content. I wish for you to keep dancing, to keep smiling, to keep putting your feet in new places. It's difficult to wish all these things for you at the moment, but I'm going to try doing so. So as you can see, uh, it's even straight from the beginning I had these experiences, and you know, then I wrote other several letters for her going onwards. Last one that I wrote was on 24th of October, 26th of October. Um, so that was a strange realization that like my mind was going through this process to make her out to be a worse person than she was. So I was then faced with like an active decision that I had to make. Do I just go with the flow and let my mind do this? But that would create like anger and frustration at what happened, and I didn't want to feel that. So the trade-off was, do you want to feel anger and frustration, or do you want to experience hurt and pain, but be okay with this messy grayness of what transpired? The fact that you could still feel like you could still feel, you still allow yourself to feel like love and connection to this person while you're not together anymore, but also accept that reality won't happen anymore. And I think obviously the what I ended up choosing was that like anger and frustration to me is something that I don't deal well with. I realized that to actively choose to not let that cognitive dissonance run awry, that I wasn't making her out to be a worse person. I had to just actively watch my thoughts and be vigilant about them. Um, and I think I did it okay. I still have to catch myself in certain ways. So given that, hopefully there are some interesting tidbits here that seems useful and relevant. Um, I had certain expectations of what I would experience, and I was taken aback by my own emotions and my own experiences. I guess what I want to leave off with really is that you should probably like, and this is for me personally, but maybe it's not what other people want to do. But I guess maybe this isn't the right advice, but be vigilant about the way your automatic emotions, so to speak, change the way you view people. If we all died tomorrow, then I would have wanted to have a happy image of the people that I cared for. So I'm going to try to do that. It's like meditation or exercise. It doesn't come naturally, but let's see what happens.